Welcome back to Man Down Sports. As you can see from the thumbnail, I want to go ahead and kind of recap what we seen last night in the game sevens. But I also want to go ahead and look forward for round two of the NBA playoffs. Starting with the Golden State Warriors Minnesota game and the Denver OKC game. The Denver OKC game is going to be tonight, so I wanted to make sure I get this out here before then. But as you can see from the rundown, we're going to go over all four matchups, two on the East, two on the West. As you're coming in, make sure you hit the like button first and foremost, and always make sure you hit the share button as well. Get as many as people in to participate. There's going to be a quick show just to kind of preview round two, and also you can see I'm in my new studio, right? So the members have already seen it because I did a member only show a couple of days ago to kind of let them see what your donations and all your support has led to, and it's gonna lead to more stuff. So everything I get financially, I'm going to try to turn it into giving y'all a better product. So this space is going to be able to facilitate guest appearances and things of that nature, and it is aesthetically pleasing as well, man. So I appreciate everyone who support the channel. But let's go ahead and get started. Let's see who we got in the house. Massive Action. SWAT was good. Jeffrey God, what's good, my brother? Got some moderators in here. So I think we can go ahead and get started. And before we preview Golden State, Minnesota, let's talk about the game from last night. Really quick. Golden State game and the Rockets. Rockets ran out of gas. Rockets dug themselves into a 3-1 hole and trying to dig themselves out of that hole. Kind of, it was detrimental to them, and it takes a lot of energy to try to do that. Win 3 straight games in a row. That's a lot of energy, man. It looked like they was going to pull it off, man. The last 2 games was phenomenal against Golden State. Their game plan was phenomenal, defensive. Everything was working for them, but they couldn't pull it out in the game 7. The experience prevailed, right? So the experience prevailed. So we're going to be able to see this Golden State Warriors Minnesota matchup. And why is that such a must-see thing? Because they got everything you need. They got superstars. They got the old regime. They got the new regime. You got old face of the league, new face of the league, some trash talking. And I want to play for you a little bit of that trash talking from 2023. This is resurfaced online of Ant-Man talking about wanting to face the Warriors in the playoffs. But this is old. They were recirculating it like it's new, but it's really old. It's 2023. But this is, I thought it was noteworthy to bring up. So this is what he said.
What are you looking forward to most of this upcoming season?
Definitely going back to the playoffs and going further in the playoffs to go versus the Warriors. I want to play the Warriors. I want to get to the Warriors. Wherever they at, I want to get to them.
Why the Warriors so much?
I mean, because Draymond talks so much trash. That's pretty much the only reason.
So that's what he said. So he asked for it and he's going to get it. Even though this is old, this is bulletin board material. This is something that Golden State would definitely use. I'm pretty sure Draymond and Steph definitely use this. I don't know about Steve Kerr, but in the locker room, this is something that they can use. This is bulletin board material. So Anthony Edwards have to back this up. He has to come out there and back it up. Now, the approach for Golden State Warriors in a lot of series, especially when they're playing talented teams with talented players, part of their experience is what I seen in Game 7 with Houston. Part of their experience is the fact that it's a Game 7. We know they're going to let us play and get away with a lot. So the type of physicality and fouling I seen Draymond and Looney doing, I don't think Houston knew that they was allowed to be that physical. They trying to mind the rules and not foul out, and Draymond knew it. They're not going to decide the game on fouling somebody like me out. So the experience is one thing, but the main thing that the Warriors do, and mainly Draymond Green, when they're playing a talented team who can beat them with talent and everything else that come with it, he take it to another level. He finds a target, a mark, a weak link. And last series, it was Jalen Green. Last series, Draymond Green talked trash about Jalen Green to his face. He talked about him in the post game, and I don't know if that affect Draymond Green or not Draymond, but Jalen Green's play. But his numbers surely support that it affected him some type of way or something affected him. I know they had a defensive scheme for him, but you wonder if mentally he was a little intimidated. Maybe who knows, or he just wasn't up for that type of challenge. I've seen it when the Grizzlies was an up and coming team. Draymond, his mark with the Grizzlies, because the Grizzlies used to beat the Warriors a lot in the regular season and talked a lot of trash. The mark that Draymond Green had then was Dylan Brooks, right? Dylan Brooks was somewhat targeted in this series as well by Jimmy Butler. Not so much Draymond, but Jimmy Butler got into it with Dylan Brooks. So they try to intimidate you. So with this Minnesota series, I'm thinking it's not gonna be Ant-Man. You know what I mean? Ant-Man's gonna talk his trash. Draymond's not gonna back down. So the trash talking will be there. But as far as someone looking for a mark, who it used to be Karl Anthony Towns, but he's not there no more. And we seen Draymond how he treated Karl Anthony Towns in the press and on the court, right? During the regular season this year in New York. But he's not there for them to do that. So it won't be Ant Edwards. It probably won't be McDaniels. It definitely ain't gonna be Julius Randle, right? He reminds me of Zach Randolph. Zach Randolph told DeMarcus Cousins, "Don't try that over here. We bully the bullies where I'm from. You a bully, but we bully the bullies." Right? That's Draymond Green. That's Julius Randle's mentality. Right? Kevin Garnett tried that when he was a young first year or second year player. And they asked Kobe Bryant after the game, how you think Julius Randle responded to KG's trash talking? Kobe said he responded like freaking Julius Randle. You know, this is a guy that Kobe wasn't calling out. That practice that went viral of Kobe Bryant coming back and telling everybody, take my freaking shoes off, and you called me back for this bullshit, this BS. How am I gonna get better with this? Talking about Jeremy Lin, Nick Young, and all them dudes with Wes Johnson. He was not talking about Julius Randle. Julius Randle was on the sideline hurt with him. But I guarantee you he won't talk about Julius Randle. Right? So he's cut from that cloth. It won't be Randle. It won't be Edwards. Who would they go bully? Well, Draymond Green choked Rudy Gobert out 2-3 years ago. They already think he's soft and sweet and some food, right? So look for this series to have a lot of chippiness and Draymond Green tactics and stuff like that. And it's going to be aimed at Rudy Gobert. They got to take him out, right? Now, basketball-wise, this is a team that outmatched the Lakers down low, out-rebounded them, and, overpowered them because they play a lot of small ball and they wouldn't play Jackson Hayes well. That's the style of the Golden State Warriors as well, right? They're not going to play a lot of big lineups, even when they got overpowered by Steven Adams and Şengün with that two big lineup in the Houston series. They refused to really go big. They continued to play small ball, and they got out rebounded, and they had to make up for it in other ways. So, but they did play Looney a little bit more in Game 7. So we'll see if they start this series out trying to put more big lineups out there to match what they got. Steven Adams is not an offensive threat, neither is Rudy Gobert. They're different in a lot of ways. I think Adam is very huge, a big human being to move off the mark. So his offensive rebounds was one thing, but Rudy Gobert is not that big, as far as girth, but he's tall. He's taller than him, longer arms. Shot block at the rim, but as far as rebounds, he's gonna wreak havoc as well. But boxing him out won't be as much as a problem as it was for Steven Adams. And there's always that component of trying to bully him as well. So look for that. If they're going to try to play small, it's going to be very important that Draymond Green try to intimidate Rudy Gobert. But he wasn't good. That wasn't an option for Steven Adams. You can't intimidate the dude. He's just too big of a dude, man. Like, there's no intimidating him. So that's going to be important. But I do think that going 7 games and the way that series was, Butler sustained the injury. Steph Curry sustained the injury. They looked spent after that game 7. They were hugging people like it was the championship. They probably gave everything they had to finish that series out. I don't think that they're rested enough. I mean, there's 7 games that they went, plus they had to play a play-in game to get the 7th seed. So they've played 8 games already, 8 playoff games. That is 2 series of basketball, right? If you sweep somebody 4 games, if you get to the second round, sweep another team, that's 8 games. They've played the equivalent of 2 series already, 8 games. The T-Wolves only played 5, right? That's got to count for something. I think game 1 goes to Minnesota. I'm not saying that to be convincing. Maybe it is close. Maybe it's close up into the 4th quarter until their legs give out and Minnesota is able to pull away. But I think they get game 1, and I think they win the series as well. And I think they win it in 6, right? So I got Minnesota winning it in 6 for sure. Now this Denver OKC series, that's tonight. That starts tonight. Well, how about this? Let me kind of recap the Clippers series. That was a game 7 as well. Denver, they're going to be tired coming out of this series as well. They gave a lot, and they had some injuries. Michael Porter Jr., whatnot. The Thunder sweep. They went 4 straight games, got Grizzlies up out of there. They've been rested. So rest do bring rust. 7-game series do bring some tired legs. We'll see how they go. Both of these teams split the series in the regular season, played 4 times. They both got 2 games. 3 of them was blowouts. 1 of them was a 2-point win going Denver's way. Both MVP candidates was able to get their numbers. So I mean, there's no real indication of what we might see. I do know that Jokic is going to be a lot, but let me get it to them. Let me get to the Clippers 7th game first. Let's get to game 7 for the Clippers. Westbrook. Westbrook had a series that was giving him the 3-point shot. They asked him about that in the post game. This is what he said.
They believe that was their best bet of stopping me or taking me out of the series. But one thing that nobody knows, and that I work my ass off. So regardless of what anybody do, I'm always prepared, and I will be prepared for anything because I prepare myself for everything. And like I said, after game 1, if they continue doing that, I'm going to make them pay. And I don't know what I shot for the series, but somebody has told me.
42.
How much?
42.
Damn, that's solid. I guess, it didn't work out so well for them.
It didn't work out so well for him. Yeah, they was leaving Westbrook open. I remember it might have been game 2 when he just started knocking threes down. And I was like, dang, is he going to be able to do that all series? Probably not. And they dared him, and he got a lot of open threes. Westbrook was phenomenal in this series. Westbrook, Denver was phenomenal as well. It was a good series on both ends. I just feel like in game 7, I don't think Clippers had nothing left. They didn't have anything left, man. So even if they would have played, what was that game? That game was in Denver. Game 7 was in Denver. Even if it would have been in the Clippers, if it was in their arena for game 7, it still didn't look like they had nothing left in the tank. They were just done. But shout out to Zubac on how he guarded Jokic and how he scored on Jokic. He was able to make sure Jokic worked for everything, and he didn't have to call for double teams as often. So his size and the way he's able to move his feet, Jokic couldn't really exploit him nowhere. Like in the post, he can't destroy him in the post. And the guys that he can't destroy in the post, Jokic play on the perimeter a lot or the high post, and he gets you that way. But even Zubac, even though he's similar in size to Jokic, he was able to move his feet a little bit better than Jokic, so he couldn't even beat him that way. So he really made Jokic work. But shout out to them. Shout out to Westbrook. I mean, 43% from three for Westbrook is crazy. I think it was closer to 40, but sound like they said 43. I had to double check to see what that was like. But Denver going into this game against OKC, this is a hard series to pick. I do think it's a little bit different. So having to deal with Zubac on the floor, and then when Zubac goes sit down, you bring in an undersized Ben Simmons to guard you, which did pretty well, but it's obvious the advantages to Jokic in the post, right? So you might can leave them single covered a little bit, but for the most part, you're bringing help, right? You didn't have to bring that much help when Zubac was out there. If it wasn't Ben Simmons, it was Nick Batum, who also did a decent job. But those are two undersized guys trying to guard Jokic. You look at OKC, they got a different look. Hartenstein, they don't have a player. I don't think Hartenstein guards Jokic as good as Zubac did. I haven't seen it, especially not these 4 games. And Hartenstein was gone probably half of those games because he missed most of the first half of the season. But I haven't seen enough of Hartenstein guarding Jokic to think that he could do a good job as Zubac. I just haven't seen it. So I think Jokic is about to have a series. So the OKC game plan is going to be really interesting. I can't wait to see game 1 to see how it is. They got to figure out a way where Westbrook, Murray, Gordon, Michael Porter Jr., Bron, we got to figure out where they're not getting what they need to get, right? Because that game 7 having Westbrook with 16, Jokic with 18, Bron with 16, Gordon with 15, Michael Porter Jr. with Gordon had 20 something. Murray had 16. I think Gordon and Michael Porter Jr. might have been in their 20s. That was 2 players in their 20s, and 4 players 15 points or more. Was insane. It's just insane, right? That can't happen. I'd rather get the 30 points from Jokic and the 20 rebounds and then say we're just not going to let you end up with 12 plus assists and get all these other guys involved. They got to figure something out. But going from Hartenstein guarding Jokic and then sometimes Chet Holmgren guarding Jokic, advantage Jokic on both of those in the post. But I don't think he'll have that advantage, especially not in Chet Holmgren's case on the perimeter. Some big guys he like to take on the perimeter and get him in foul trouble and try to take him off the dribble. He's not going to have that. What's up, Mitchell Show? He's not going to have that advantage when Holmgren's guarding him. He's got to go down in the post, right? So we'll see how that plays out. We'll see what coverage they're going to be looking at. They've had a lot of time to sit back and watch that series of Clippers. They got a lot of rest. Hopefully it don't lead to a lot of rust. Should be a good ball game. I don't expect a blowout tonight. But I wouldn't be surprised if it is. I would be surprised if Denver come in off of game 7 and blow out a rested OKC squad. But I wouldn't be surprised if OKC have a slow start, just based on the rust. But, even if they do have a slow start, hopefully they'll be able to wake up. I'm picking OKC for this series. I did want to mention one thing Jalen Rose said that I thought was interesting before I get off this series.
Watching this year's playoffs, I'm so excited, and I just can't hide it. But as you look deeper into the box score, I'm going to give you some content to copy. How about the fact that KD Book, Embiid PG, AD, Kyrie, CP3 didn't even make the playoffs, and LeBron, Luka, Kawhi, James Harden, Giannis, along with Ja Morant, each got bounced in the first round. So when you see SGA win MVP this year, that's the true acknowledgement that the game has changed.
I think that's real interesting, right? He said when SGA gets this MVP, which is going to happen, sometime during this series, they're going to announce the MVP, and a lot of people believe it's going to be SGA. Right? There are a lot of people, fans, media, and probably Jokic himself that think Jokic should get it. That's probably going to be some motivation that Jokic and Denver Nuggets can use. Maybe they're saying something about it in the locker room. Don't believe the hype that Jokic is not caring about this award. He definitely is. And you will see that. He's going to try to prove something. And SGA has to be up for the challenge as well, right? Don't be one of those MVPs that win the award and then you getting put out second round or getting put out early and you can't even get your team to the finals. Don't be that MVP. I don't know when the last MVP has made it to the finals. That's a good thought to look up. MVPs, they usually don't make it to the finals. Jokic didn't make it any of the years he won MVP, right? So that's interesting to watch. If he gets the award, can he be one of the ones that actually get to the finals and win when he got the award? I want to see that. Now, what Jalen Rose is talking about, changing other guards. He mentioned first round exit for Luka and LeBron. Let's leave Luka out of this because he they got Knicks. He's in the next generation. First round exit for LeBron. Almost a first round exit for Curry, right? No playoffs for KD, right? Curry, LeBron, KD, they represent really the old regime, really the old era, the era that looked like it's coming to an end. What came into the league with that era of Curry, LeBron, and KD? Well, I'm not saying they're the reason that it entered the NBA, but it entered the NBA on their watch, which is the league moving to a more analytical league. And that business model has failed to the point where it's been people complaining about the product on the floor for the last 5, 6, 7 years. All-Star game is almost non-existent. The dunk contest is dead. All-Star weekend is probably about to be coming to a close like the Pro Bowl. That's how bad it has gotten, right? Despite what Adam Silver tried to tell you, ratings aren't the same anymore because everyone is streaming and watching things online, but our engagement is up because we got so much content floating on social media and YouTube. Well, the ratings haven't dropped for the NFL, and their games are still on TV. So don't use it as an excuse to say, people just aren't watching the same, right? Your ratings are down. Just be honest about it. Something is wrong with your product. So they finally listened to the people that was complaining, and they're making a change. If you can see from these playoffs, physical play, defense is back. That's another thing that left with the last era. Defense left, the traditional big man left, the post game left, physicality left. The mid-range game disappeared, post-game disappeared, analytics came in, 3-point shooting exploded, right? And everything is being based off analytics. So now we have not jocks in control of what happens with basketball. We have nerds, for lack of a better term. We have nerds running the league, and the nerds are saying, by what I'm calculating on my calculator, this is how you should play basketball. Like somebody actually got down there and wrote a formula, right? A formula that probably should be used to figure out how to get to the moon. They wrote in a formula on how to play basketball. And then when they finished that formula, they came out and said, you know what? We shouldn't be posting up. That's a low efficient, the long 2-pointer is low efficiency, is lower efficient than the threes. But even if it wasn't, threes still better than 2. So if you shoot more threes, even if y'all miss the same amount, you're still going to get more points. So let's stop taking 2s, especially long 2s. Let's stop taking mid range. Oh, the post up, that play is points per possession is lower than if you just take 3s. So let's get rid of the post up. Let's just shoot 3s and layups. And someone sat down there and convinced the entire NBA that this was a good business model, and all the teams start going to it. So what Jalen Rose is saying is that's a dead business model. And once we give SGA the MVP, that's going to be a marker that we're moving forward from analytics. And analytics say that Jokic is the MVP because of stats, points, rebounds, and assists. SGA say that, or we're looking at basketball and seeing it through the lens of scoring and defending and winning, that tells you that SGA is the MVP. He's got his team to more wins by a lot, 18 games, in fact. He plays better defense, which led to his team being rated higher defensively by a lot. And he the leading scorer in the league, right? So scoring, defending, and winning, say SGA is the MVP. Analytics and stats say Jokic is the MVP, right? So what are we doing moving forward with the NBA? Are we falling in love with analytics over again? Or are we getting rid of it? Are we going to start telling people like Jokic, or not even Jokic, are we going to start telling people like Luka, hey, I know we voted you first team all NBA 4 years in a row. I know for the last 4 years, everyone has overwhelmingly predicted that you will be the MVP this season. The preseason MVP pick was you. And by All-Star break, you're not even in the running anymore because your teams are so behind in the standings that we can't justify it anymore, right? But how does that keep happening? Well, points, rebounds, and assists, stats, analytics are telling you lies. What time is telling us is that Luka is not that great for your team. Now we've seen him on Dallas with several different type of rosters, and we're getting basically the same results. And we've been getting data that he's a horrible defender for so long, and we've been ignoring it. How's he getting first team all NBA votes 4 years in a row with no defense? Because we didn't care about defense. We only cared about points, rebounds, assists. We only cared about stats. We only cared about analytics, efficiency rating, all this crazy stuff. Well, get rid of all of that. The mid-range is back. Winning is back. Defense is back. Scoring is back. That's the meat and the potatoes of the whole game. 50% of the game is scoring. 50% of the game is defense. That's the entire game. And the results is either you win or you lose. The end's supposed to justify the means. The ends is winning. So whatever I did, if it led to winning, it's justified. If whatever I did led to losing or less winning than another guy that I'm a candidate against, then you have to consider that. What Jokic did was average a triple-double. It led to 18 less wins than SGA. What SGA did led him to the number one record in the league, 18 more wins than Jokic. And a top-rated defense in the league. I don't understand what the argument is. But like Jalen Rose said, this MVP will be a marker of something. And maybe the NBA is moving forward into a new age, right? So that's my piece about that. Let me get to this super chat. Ever since the A's and the Moneyball, they've been going wild. Sports T, what's popping? What's popping? Shout out to Sports T, man. We should be live after the game tonight. If y'all want to check into that, we'll be live on both platforms, mine and hers. So shout out to the homie in the comment section. All right. Boston, New York, everybody. What I don't like about this series, well, first of all, if you didn't notice, I'm picking OKC for the Denver OKC matchup. I'm picking them, and I'm also picking them to win game 1 tonight. All right, so but to Boston, New York. Now, this is the game or the series that I disagree with a lot of the media talking heads, and in particular Rick Bucher, which I like Rick Bucher a lot. But they're not giving New York any respect. I mean, I know the Celtics are the defending champs, a phenomenal team. But they're dealing with an injury with Drew Holiday. I don't know what his status is for game one. I'm gonna play for you what Rick Bucher said, because I don't think Rick Bucher really did his homework. He just assumed the Knicks is not, they just go lay down for the Celtics, right? This is Rick Bucher talking about this matchup.
The Celtics are minus 1,000 in this. That's not great, Knicks. Do they have any chance whatsoever? Now, Drew Holiday has a hamstring. Tatum's coming off the injury, although it didn't seem to bother him. Is there a world where the Knicks make this interesting?
No.
Sweep?
No.
Damn.
Look, and I don't mean to demean the New York Knicks, but it's a really bad matchup.
Yeah.
You got multiple guys, even without Drew Holiday. You got Derek White and Peyton Pritchard can take turns guarding Jalen Brunson. You got Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum on the wing, size-wise, against Josh Hart and Mikal Bridges, or even OG Anunoby. It just the matchups don't work.
Can it be
unfortunately?
Can this possibly be a Cat series? Because he's the toughest matchup, I think, for Boston. But I mean, he was invisible last night. 10 points, fouled out.
I've seen Cat score 60 points and lose. So no, I'm not. Even if he has a great game, I don't see that being the difference.
All right.
So even though Rick Bucher, that might be his opinion, I don't think he really looked into it. He just assuming it's Boston and New York don't match up well. New York can't get it done, right? That might be true. But you can't underestimate, you can't underestimate teams and players like Brunson. You can't underestimate them. These dudes go fight. They go fight. Now, I'm still picking Boston. Ish just told me there's nobody on the injury report. So Holiday will be playing. He had a hamstring issue. That he was kind of nursing in the first round, but there was a round they probably didn't need him, so he probably could have been ready if he needed to, right? So that's good news to hear that he's not on the injury report. So if that's the case, yeah, I agree that a big body point guard like Jalen Brunson that can get people off the mark and get his shot off and things of that nature. I do think having a Drew Holiday on him, who is also another big body guard, who's a great defender, who can move his feet, who can pick him up 94 feet, who can play him in the post, can play him off the dribble, and then on the offensive end, he can also be effective and make him work, right? So that's a luxury to have for Boston. It's also a luxury to have that, hey, guess what? Whenever Drew Holiday sits down, you get the grand prize of, now here's Derek White, right? They can do the same thing. One of the best shot blocking guards under 6'5", right? This dude get his hand on a lot of shots, man, whether it's in the perimeter or in the paint. Really intentional defensively, right? But then if you get tired of putting point guards that's his size on him, guess what you also got the luxury of? Let's give you Jaylen Brown, or let's give you Jason Tatum. And then if you do just happen to get by them, we got a shot blocker that's 7'3", who's a unicorn, and Porzingis down there ready for you. And we got Al Horford down there as well, who's going to challenge the shot as well. So it's not going to be easy for Brunson. And I think that they're going to probably make him work really hard, which means that Cat has to be huge in this series, and he has to make Horford and Porzingis freaking work, right? Cat cannot go passive. He has to be very aggressive. He almost has to be the number one in this series, because I don't think they're gonna let Jalen Brunson get loose like that. He's gonna have his work cut out for him, right? So I mean, if they could make Kyrie Irving work and Luka and gentlemen sweep them in the finals, I'm pretty sure they can give Jalen Brunson hell with how they're set up, man. So here's their only chance, though. The Knicks have to get in here and get game one. If the Knicks get game one, I think they can get 2 games out of this series. If the Knicks don't steal game one, they will get 4-1. They will get gentlemen swept, right? They come in here and get game one, we got a series, right? That'll give the confidence that everyone needs. because I'm pretty sure they need to prove to themselves that they can beat Boston consistently. And if they get game one, that'll help, right? If they come in here and get smacked in game one, it could get ugly. It can get uglier than Masterpiece Sneaker for sure, right? So I did get some super chats in here. Taco Master, Jokic has the highest efficiency rating via analytics in the NBA, and he plays in the post. They beat themselves with Mav, OKC in 6, or Nuggets in 7. Interesting. I can dig it. Shout out to Sports T with the 1999 super chat. Oh man, hey, that's going straight to my Popeyes fund. No, these are my Knicks, but they didn't beat any good teams all season, but all season long. But they won't lay down, even if they are swept. They will fight. I agree 100%, and we will be talking about that a little bit tonight. I agree with that 100%. Last but not least, well, actually, yeah, let's get into this Indiana series, y'all. They've already won game one. Indiana did last night. Surprisingly, I didn't expect that, but shout out to them. Shout out to them for being able to steal it. Darius Garland didn't play, and he's still day to day. He's got a foot issue. And I don't think that foot go get healthy in the playoffs. He might be pain managing that thing for the rest of the playoffs. So I think that's huge. That's big. Cleveland needed to be 100% healthy as far as personnel to do what they, they've been number one all season especially in the East, until OKC had a late surge to be the number one team in the league. But Cleveland did too much good work. They had 3 All-Stars, a Coach of the Year candidate, a 6th Man of the Year candidate, be a top-rated defense. I mean, Mitchell should have been an MVP candidate, but he was probably 5th on the ladder. He should have been maybe 3rd or 4th. To have all of that, and then it come down to, oh man, we lost a key factor in our offense, and Garland, and now we're not competing as expected. I mean, I hate that for Cleveland, and Indiana not slowing down, right? And they're well coached as well. They hit their strides late in the season as well, because they started off slow, but they're rocking and rolling now. So them coming out and still in game one and still in whole corner advantage, that was huge. We'll see how Cleveland responds. I think Darius Garland, like I said, he's day to day, and he might be back for game 2, but this is how his when his coach was asked about it, this was the response.
I mean, listen, it's when you're dealing with health and I don't know if that context helps, right? Like it is what it is. He's wasn't ready. Well, again, it's a day-to-day thing. We'll check him tomorrow. I know he's desperate to play. We desperate, we need his speed and shot making. I mean, he's an all-star. But we'll check him tomorrow, and I'll check in with him, see where he is. I mean, yeah, I'm not sure what the official kind of medical thing. I guess I should know. But I know it's a tough one, especially like I said pregame with the stop and it start, and he's hurting, and we just gotta see if he can figure it out. If we can figure it out, just get him up going. But we don't want him out there 60%, 50%. Not with the way they're pressuring the ball. It just doesn't make sense. So we obviously.
So that's going to be something huge to watch for Cleveland and their series with Indiana. How healthy is Darius Garland going to be? Can he get back for game 2? And is he going to be anywhere close to 100% when he gets back? And is this something that he's got to manage for this whole series? I hope not. I hope that both teams are 100% so we can see them battle it out. But if Garland, if he can't go, and if he can go and he's not 100%, Mitchell and the rest of the squad has got to step up. Now, Ty Jerome, 6-man candidate, he came off the bench and he filled in quite nicely. He had 21, right? They played decent. They got off to a slow start and got punched in the mouth early. They made a run at it late, but if you're the number one team in the East, you can't afford to come out here and be, sleepwalking through the playoffs against a team like Indiana. You just can't do it. Shout out to Shay J. I ain't seen you in a while, but you just can't do it. So that's my thought for that Cleveland series. And I'm still picking. Sheesh. I'm still picking Cleveland. I'm still picking Cleveland to win this. This is a 7-game series. So I got Boston going 5 unless New York gets game 1 tonight. Oh, are they playing tonight? It's 2 games tonight. I think it is New York and OKC Denver. So if New York gets game 1 tonight, I can see them getting 2 games. So this series going 5 or 6. It's not going 7. The Indiana Cleveland game, that's 100% going 7 games. 100%. So that's a 7-game series. The last thing I want to get into, y'all, and I appreciate everybody for coming in and sticking in with me. I'm glad to see Shay J back, Autism Boy up in the house, my girl Sports Tees in the house, Ish, Posh King up in the house, man. I hope y'all like the studio. It's man, it's I like it a whole lot better than my legacy studio over there, Studio A. I like it a lot better over here. All right. But y'all let me know what y'all think. But let's get into this last topic. And this was very interesting, right? I'm listening to Club Shay Shay or Nightcap, not Club Shay Shay. I'm listening to Nightcap. They had Q Richardson on as a guest. And they got into the topic of where Giannis is going to go this summer. Is he going to request a trade? If he's going to do this or that? And Ocho think everyone should come to Miami. He just swears by Miami. But of course, Shannon Sharp, he doesn't like Miami because of Pat Riley, and he thinks that Pat Riley. Well, put it this way: he's so loyal to LeBron James that he's not loyal to Pat Riley. He's going to critique him at every turn, right? So he got into like a little back and forth with Q Richardson, and it just sounded real weird. I'm like, dude, why are you trying to drive this point home that that Pat Riley is a bad leader in Miami? And the argument was so crazy. It was very bitchy of Shannon. Like I always say with Shannon, just the way he talks, and this is no offense to any of my sisters. I got 3 sisters, so it's no offense to women. It's just we debate a little different when it comes to certain topics, right? We debate a little different, and I think it's certain things that women, kind of angle certain things that is different from men. But Club Shay, Shannon Sharp, he debates like a woman. I know that sounds weird, but it's like if I just play it for you.
He thinks somebody always want to go to the Miami Heat. Pat Riley with them 1955 rules.
Hey, listen, it ain't even bad as you think it is, man. People listen, when you look at the guys that go there, they have some of their best years of their careers when they go there.
And look at the guys leave. I saw Dwayne Wade leave. I saw Jimmy Butler leave. I saw LeBron James leave. Now that's 3 of the best players that you've had in the last 15 years. Now tell me what I don't know, Q.
So maybe I don't know if y'all get what I'm saying, but that ain't I don't try to. So the whole thing is, he said, Ocho think everybody wanted to go to Miami, and he said don't nobody want to go play for Pat Riley with them old rules, right? And first and foremost, when you think about Pat Riley, You think about structure, discipline, accountability, consequences for your actions. That's leadership. That's not old. That's not archaic. So if you're saying that having structure, having a clear-cut leader and a clear-cut chain of command, a clear-cut hierarchy, a person who is getting paid to do one thing, he's doing it independently. Like if I'm paid to be the president of basketball operations, I'm going to do that. I'm not going to share my job with someone that my best player feel like I should be doing it side by side with. I'm not going to let Clutch Sports come in the front office with me and dictate nothing, right? How's that old school? That's not old school. That's leadership. So he's getting on Pat Riley for being a leader and a strong leader at that. So I guess the new school is to be a weaker leader and let outside forces come in and tell you how to do your job. This is the same reason why Magic Johnson quit the president job with the Lakers. They gave him the title, and he couldn't even do what Pat Riley does with the Heat. He wanted to do certain things. They was like, "No, you can't fire Bill Walton. Why not? Hold on, I'm the president. I can't fire Bill Walton. Why?" Well, Rob Pelinka disagrees with it, and Rob Pelinka and Clutch Sports is hand in hand. That's what LeBron wanted to do in Miami, and that's what Pat Riley was like, "Nah, we're not doing that," and that's why LeBron left, right? So that being the foundation of this conversation, and Q Richardson saying, "Nah, you can say that Pat Riley's rules are bad and old if you want to, but the guys that go play over there has had some of their best years playing under those rules that you call old and archaic." Lonzo Mourning went over there, had Heat culture buzzing. Tim Hardaway, Jamal Mashburn, Lonzo Mourning, that PJ Brown, great lineup, very competitive team, right? Very competitive team. It had some of their best years. He played in Charlotte for years. His best years was in Miami. Tim Hardaway played in Golden State for years. His best years was in Miami. Mashburn played for Dallas with Jason Kidd and Jimmy Jackson. Best years was in Miami, right? And the list goes on. LeBron James, best years in Miami. Wade, best years in Miami. Jimmy Butler, best years in Miami. Got to the finals twice. Multiple time All-Star. Like best years were in Miami, right? Udonis Haslem. He only played for Miami, but he had great years that didn't want to leave. Mike Miller, best years in Miami, not Memphis. The list goes on. So for Shannon Sharp to say my point is valid because LeBron left, Wade left, Jimmy Butler left. LeBron left because Clutch Sports wasn't going to run the office and Phil Jackson wasn't going to let that happen. Wade left for money issues. He thought he was about to get a max contract with two bad knees, past 30, 33, 34 of years of age. Same thing with Jimmy Butler. In the same situation with Wade, thinking he was about to get a max contract. Pat Riley's not dumb, and you're critiquing him because he's not dumb, and he won't let people get max contracts like LeBron is doing with the Lakers, getting a $55 million option next year, and they can't get out the first round. Pat Riley was like, I'm not gonna do the owner like that and fork up all this money to a player, and we can't even competitively play basketball all season. I'm not doing it. I'm not having a 7-year stretch of LeBron with 1 bubble ring, 3 first-round exits, 2 missed playoffs, and a Western Conference Finals. And I got to draft your son, and I got to fire Darvin Ham, and I got to hire your podcast buddy, and I got to let Clutch Sports work side by side with Rob Pelinka to make sure you're getting what you want. All of this stuff. Give your son a guaranteed contract. That is a lot. Pat Riley is not that type of dude to let that fly.
What you don't know?
Yeah. Hold on. I'm gonna let him finish up. You could chime in after him, Q.
We all got family, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes you get mad at your auntie or your uncle or your cousin or even your mom or your brother or sister, right?
I like that. I like where you're going.
I ain't leaving them.
Look, he didn't leave for good. He left and went over his auntie house, and then he came back over here back to Uncle's house. He came back.
Come on.
Okay, you think Jimmy coming back?
I didn't say Jimmy came back. I was talking about D Wade when we said that. When we was talking.
Okay. What about LeBron? LeBron going back to Miami?
No, I said family.
But I'm saying the mere fact that family left. If I leave the house, yeah, I might come back when I'm on hard times.
D Wade was a different type of family. Like D Wade was drafted homegrown there. That's Dade County.
And he left.
You can't say the same for LeBron or Jimmy. So it wasn't that same type of thing.
He left.
And came back. And they both admitted that it was some wrongdoings and reasons why they left. And they came together and pieced up, and it's all love.
Yeah.
This is from him. This ain't mine.
Yeah, it's all love.
Yeah.
But I see D Wade is part owner in the Utah Jazz. He's sitting courtside in the Utah Jazz. Why isn't he sitting courtside at Miami? It's family now.
No, time out. D Wade do be sitting courtside in Miami. He got a statue in Miami, and he's a boss
and deservedly so.
A smart businessman.
And deservedly so. Yeah. But we can't pretend like people aren't fed up with Pat Riley and those archaic ways. Q. That's not being true. You hear it,
but it work. It go two ways though. You got to understand that some of those same ways that people being critical of are the reasons for some of the most brilliant careers that you talk about. The best version of LeBron James that you know was right there under those archaic rules.
Yeah.
Tell me I'm wrong.
I still like LeBron when he went back to Cleveland.
No, you ask anybody in the league. That LeBron James, them 2 years back to back, please.
Yeah.
Please. Yeah. That was hell on wheels, boy. You hear me? Like, please. You talking about
okay, let's say that. Okay. And then what made LeBron leave?
Both sides.
Okay. That he had his best years. And then what made LeBron leave?
You got that
during the 27-game winning streak. What happened, Q?
I don't know. I didn't heard a lot of.
You know what happened? D Wade said it. Lawrence Cone said it.
Cookies being taken away. I heard about cookies being taken away. I didn't heard about all type of stuff. But I also heard that some of the same things that he ran from that he tried to take with him and bring and bestow on these other organizations when he went there.
There you go.
It wasn't all bad.
You already listen.
There you go.
You already know, Rich. Mav is going to be there every day. Mav is my chief of staff. Not Mav, excuse me. What's the other one? Randy. Randy's going to be there. Have you ever seen LeBron James anywhere without Randy? I have not. Whether it's out in Vegas, whatever the case may be, Randy is going to be there.
So Pat should have let him be there.
Oh, he going to be there. You want it. You going to be there. You don't want him.
So, listen. Shannon didn't have a real argument. He really didn't. He's just trying to vouch for LeBron James. I guess Pat Riley and LeBron James are ops, and he's so loyal to LeBron. He's saying if that's your op, that's my op too, right? We know good and well taking some cookies off the team plane was not the straw that brought the camel's back. Really, remember when Phil Jackson and we all got butt hurt over this because here's a white man saying something about a black player who we championed back then. This is before LeBron really got ugly, right? I think the worst things that LeBron did before Miami was probably being very immature. I think people used to critique him for the pregame handshakes and dances that his teams used to do. I think one time they was playing bottle flip on the sideline doing a blowout match, just real immature. He got called out for being immature a lot, and he got called out for the decision, right? So when he did the decision, but that's all immaturity. That's young, cool, right? That was his thing. But after Miami, that's when everything just started happening. That's when Clutch Sports became part of, all right, we've arrived as an agency and we're a package deal with LeBron, and LeBron would start really using his leverage. Before Miami, he was so desperate to get a ring to help his legacy that he was okay with submitting to the will of Pat Riley, right? He did try to flex his muscle one time where things wasn't going his way, and he talked about getting Spoelstra fired and possibly being coached by Pat Riley. And Wade said, "You don't want that. You don't want Riles to come down here. Stay with Spo. He's good." But he went to Pat to try to get Spo fired. right? He tried to flex his muscle that way. Pat was like, nah, we don't do that here. Right. So everything that was going on in Miami, Pat was making sure it was going down. It wasn't a lot of LeBron influence and clutch sports influence. Fast forward to after 2 rings and another MVP, and now he feels like I've arrived. I'm that dude now. Right. Now my contract is coming up. Now I'm going to Pat Riley and I'm saying, these are the things I want. I want clutch sports to come in like a freaking virus. And I want to be able to control who's getting traded, who, things of that nature, all this stuff, man. He wanted some control, and Pat Riley was probably like, no, that's not happening. So that was the final straw that broke the camel's back on him leaving. And we know in order for him to say, well, I go call Dan Gilbert, the guy who just pretty much called me everything but the child of God on my way from leaving Cleveland, I'm going to go make amends with him and go back to Cleveland and do my thing. But they both were desperate because Dan Gilbert was so hurt by LeBron leaving and all that money that he was generating, leaving and embarrassing him like that while doing the decision, and fell in that draft pick, Anthony Bennett. He did hit with Kyrie Irving, so that's one thing. And then they got another number 1 pick, so they was about to get Andrew Wiggins, who was the best player coming out of that draft. It's crazy because Embiid was in that draft too. It would have been crazy if they got Embiid instead of Wiggins. But so you get Wiggins, but LeBron had been teasing that he wanted to play with Kevin Love a year before that. Kevin Love was unreal in Minnesota. He was putting up Jokic numbers without the assists, but definitely the points and rebounds, right? But he was a great passer as well. He just didn't play point guard or point center like Jokic does, right? But Kevin Love was putting up crazy numbers. Imagine the first year or two of Jokic actually breaking out. That's what Kevin Love was looking like in Minnesota. And LeBron expressed that he wanted to play with Kevin Love. It is my opinion that with the fact that they won 2 rings and knowing how agents work, going back to the drawing board to negotiate contracts, having 2 rings under your belt with the team that you're with. I seen how Draymond and Clay and Steph did it. They leveraged the rings. We got rings. I'm worth this max contract. If I leave, the championship culture is gone, right? So I can imagine Chris Bosh, D Wade, and LeBron leveraging those championships for their contract negotiating, which means all 3 of those guys was about to get paid like they weigh, which also means that the amount of role players and help that y'all going to get is going to be limited. Those 3 guys are going to do heavy lifting. Wade knees was bad, and I don't think LeBron wanted that. I think Chris Bosh for Kevin Love in a trade would have been something that Clutch Sports and LeBron would have lobbied for. I don't think he would have had the guts to send Wade from Wade County away from Miami, but we seen him trade him when he was at Cleveland, so we know he can do it. But I think that Bosh for K Love would have been a possibility. I also think that Eric Spoelstra getting fired was probably another possibility if they wasn't winning or playing the way they wanted to play. Pat Riley been in the way, that's not going to happen. Going back to Cleveland with an owner that's desperate and have seen you leave Cleveland and get 2 rings with Miami, and you coming back saying, I can do the same thing here if you let me and Clutch Sports build everything up for you. And that's the deal that he got with Dan Gilbert. And that's evident by as soon as he decided that he was going to go back to Cleveland, they made the trade of Andrew Wiggins, who they just drafted, to Minnesota for Kevin Love, which is someone that LeBron wanted. And that's what LeBron wanted. They hired a coach. They brought in David Black. After a year, LeBron didn't like David Black. David Black was fired. So he wanted things to be able to move like that. Oh, I don't like this coach. Fire him. Hire Ty Lue. All right, trade that number 1 pick. I don't want no rookie on my watch. Kyrie can stay, but let me get Kevin Love. That's the same thing I had in Miami. I had Bosh, a stretch 4. I had Wade, a wing scorer. And now I have that with Kyrie and Kevin Love. And then that didn't work the first year. So they was like, all right, I need another trade. Hey, I had Ray Allen the year we won in Miami coming off the bench. Can we get another shooter like that? Oh, trade for J.R. Smith in Miami. Like everything was moving. These are all LeBron moves, right? That's what he wanted in Miami. Pat Riley was like, no, I'm in control. So that's why he left. Right. So Shannon Sharp is, I don't know what Shannon is talking about. I don't know what he's talking about. So thanks, Autism Boy. Appreciate it. Thanks, TJ. Appreciate it. Thanks, man. But I don't know what Shannon Sharp is talking about. He's just trying to look out for his boy, I guess. But he's wrong. He's wrong. And I just wanted to point that out, man. Appreciate everybody for stopping by, man. I see y'all again tonight on Sports T and on Man Down Sports. We'll be live after the game. And we'll probably try to do that for the rest of the playoffs, man. Do some post gaming. So appreciate y'all for tuning in. Thank y'all for helping me out and supporting the channel so I can build a studio to make y'all get y'all some better content, man. So check y'all out on the next stream. Peace.